What is up? Welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to be going over the Pentax K1000. This is one of the most successful 35mm SLRs ever produced. It's a very simple camera, so it won't take very long to go through, but it's still very interesting, so let's get into it. So this is one of the first Pentax cameras to feature the K mount. This is a bayonet mount system, which was replacing the very popular M42 system that was sported on their earlier iterations of 35mm SLRs, notably cameras like the Spotmatic SP, SP2, and the SPF. Now the K1000 here is pretty much just a dolled up version of the Spotmatic SPF, a lot of identical electronic components, notably missing the self-timer, the stop-down lever, and only featuring one flash sync port as opposed to the two that the Spotmatic SPF has. Now it's called the K1000, K meaning K for the K mount here, and 1000 for the 1/1000th of a second top shutter speed. This is a naming practice that was employed previously by Pentax when they were releasing cameras such as their Spotmatic SP500 and the SP1000. You'll notice here that it has Asahi and the Asahi Optical Company logo right here. This means that it's an earlier model of the camera, late 70s, early 80s model. It was made in Hong Kong, as you can barely make out here, but this is the one that features the metal top and bottom, mostly metal interior components, and as previously mentioned, the Asahi logo. Now later models, such as the ones that started being made in 1990, were actually made in China. You'll notice those because they're made of plastic. They don't have the Asahi logo here, and they don't have the Asahi Optical Company logo here either, as they were trying to stay consistent with that series of cameras. On the bottom here, we have the battery compartment. This takes one LR44 battery, something that looks very similar to this. To remove the lid, you can take a coin. A nickel is a preferable size, and unscrew it just like this. Once you have that out, the battery goes in, positive side up to the lid. Put that on and tighten it up. You have your tripod mounting point here. You have your rewind button here. On the front, you have your lens release button. So you take the red dots, line them up, and twist a little bit clockwise. And to remove the lens, you press down on this and twist counterclockwise and remove. I have a flash sync port here as mentioned, and the flash sync speed of this camera is 1/60th, as noted by the small X right there. There is also a hot shoe featured on the camera here, your advance lever, your frame counter, and your shutter speed selector here. Now, as I mentioned previously as well, the speeds range from 1 second exposure all the way over to 1/1000th, with the bulb setting as well. If you want to adjust your ASA, you just simply lift out on the outer ring and rotate around. Loading film into this camera, I'm going to take my test roll here. You simply put the film in here and slide the lead into one of those gaps. And then you want to advance, make sure that it's eating it. You want to advance, make sure it's gripping properly, and then you're good to go. Close the back, and you're good to go. If you have any concerns if you didn't load it correctly or not, what you can do is kick this up, act as though you're rewinding it, make sure you feel the tension there. If you do, you did fine. The frame counter right here will let you know what frame you're on. As soon as you open the back, it should reset to 2 below 0 here. And once you reach 24 or 36, depending on what roll you have, there'll be too much tension here in order for you to advance to the next frame. What you do is you simply press in on this button there and kick this up and rewind the film back into the canister. You want to make sure you do this with the back off, but as this is my test roll, I will show you what that does. Clicking this disengages the take-up spool here, and rewinding it back into the film canister. Rewind until there's no tension left, and then open up the back and retrieve your film canister. Make sure that anytime you load a new film in, make sure you check the ASA or the ISO of the film and adjust the selector here accordingly. In terms of the metering system, if you look through here, you'll notice that there is a needle sitting in between the two brackets. You want that needle to be lined up just like that in order for it to be properly on exposure. The few things you can do to adjust exposure are going to be changing the shutter speeds or the aperture of your lens. This camera does not actually feature an on-off switch, but if you put the lens on and your lens cap on over time, the lack of light letting in will kind of turn the camera off. It does a full scene averaging, so it's going to take the average of the exposure of everything in the viewfinder and average out what your exposure should be. So if you want to get something a little bit more specific, something like a spot meter might be helpful. Even almost 50 years after its initial release, the Pentax K1000 continues to be a very popular camera amongst beginner film photographers and seasoned film photographers alike. It's very reliable, very durable, almost fully mechanical camera except for the light meter component. If you haven't had the opportunity to shoot with one of these yet, definitely recommend you go try to find one. They are great. If you have any specific questions about the operations, check out my other videos or leave a comment down below and I'll try to get back to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel for all kinds of other related film photography information, and I will catch you on the next one.